Hello Fuzzy Bat-Bats! Today we have a video strictly about the paranormal because I know that you all love the paranormal so much and you really enjoy hearing those stories. And the reason I know this is because my comment sections in most of my videos have to do with the paranormal, and I'm totally fine with that because I adore the paranormal. So today's video is going to be Q&A paranormal questions. Let's get started. The first question is, how old were you when you had your first paranormal experience? My very first paranormal experience was whenever I was 5 or 6. It wasn't necessarily with ghosts, but it was through my dreams. For 3 months straight, I had the same reoccurring nightmare. My grandma and grandpa's land was built, my grandma and grandpa's farmland was built on Indian burial grounds, and all of my nightmares were at my grandma and grandpa's farmland. Well, I had the same nightmare for 3 months every night, and it was always at my grandma and grandpa's farmland in their backyard, on the place that they had in their backyard right before you got to the farm. And I'd be out there playing on the swing set, or I'd just be playing in a different spot each dream, and some man would come out of the woods and he was completely dressed in black. He had a black cloak on, and he would grab me by the arm or by the legs and he'd drag me off in the woods, and I'd be screaming and kicking and scratching him and trying to get him to let me go, and he would drag me out into the woods and it would get really dark and I would wake up immediately. But I had that same reoccurring dream for 3 months, and because of that dream, I am so terrified of being out in the woods at night. I won't go near the woods at night. I don't know why. Even the woods in general, I can be out in the woods in daytime. If I don't have somebody else in the woods with me, I am terrified because I was always dragged out to the woods, and that was really scarring for me as a child. Number 2, have you always believed in ghosts? No, I have not always believed in ghosts because I was raised Christian. I am not Christian anymore, but I was raised this way, and in the Christian belief system, there are ghosts, but ghosts aren't the same as most people see them. In the religion that I was taught, whenever I was younger, that I was brainwashed into, I was taught that ghosts were actually demons or familiar spirits that would hang out around a human. So you have like an angel that follows you every day and a demon that follows you every day, and then whenever you pass on, the demon that followed you every day acts like you after you passed on, to get people to question the paranormal and question spiritual things and to look further into that, to move their gaze away from God and to be more focused on the paranormal, which is totally obscure and crazy and really out there, and I don't believe in that anymore. But whenever I was little, I was taught that ghosts are not real, and I started believing in ghosts whenever I was about probably 11 or 12, because in my mom's house, whenever I'd be there laying in bed, I would hear scratching in the walls, and I know that that could be mice, but to me as a little kid, I'd hear scratching in the walls and I would think it was ghosts. Or there was one time that I was laying in bed and I felt all the weight shift on the end of my bed, and there was an indentation on my bed like someone was sitting there, and that morbidly terrified me. So that was whenever I started believing that there were ghosts. Wasn't until I was closer to my teens, but whenever I was younger, I did not believe in ghosts. 3, what is your favorite place to investigate? My absolute favorite place to go investigating would have to be the Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs. The hotel itself is just really beautiful, so I love going there in general. The reason I like to investigate it is because you always get results. 110% you always get results. You get all kinds of goodness whenever you take photos. You get tons of orbs. You can do voice box and you always get a response. It's just so epic and lively, and it's beautiful too. So if you end up getting a room there and staying there, I recommend you bringing sage with you, or you'll probably have nightmares every time you go to sleep. But your room has a balcony right outside, and the balcony is right over the Ozark Mountains, so you can see all the trees and the beautiful Ozarks whenever you're there. So I highly, highly recommend the Crescent Hotel. Actually, since we're on this topic, what are some of your favorite places to investigate? I would really like to know, because I would like to go check it out and maybe do some investigation videos for this channel. So please, down below, tell me your favorite places in the US to go investigate, because I would love to check them out. Number 4, what is your favorite investigating tool to use? That would have to be the voice box, because you hear a voice straight through, and whenever they start answering you, it's so terrifyingly wonderful. I just love it, because it just like, it makes everything more solid. And if it's an if it's an intelligent response, it just makes it 10 times better. It's great. Number 5, what is your scariest paranormal experience? My scariest experience would have to be here in this very room that I am sitting in. I had a really, really terrifying experience quite some time ago where I was laying in bed and I actually had my feet grabbed onto and I was dragged off the bed, and I felt the force of being pulled off the bed, fell on the ground, couldn't stand up, and I couldn't talk, and I was just being held on the ground and I couldn't move or anything. And that was the most terrifying experience I've ever had, and that's what made me dig deeper to figure out how to get rid of it. And I ended up using sage and some prayer and crystals and different wonderful little things around my room to keep out the negative spirit that was visiting in this horrifying experience that happened in this very room about 3 or 4 years ago. Number 6, what is your favorite paranormal experience? My favorite paranormal experience would have to be in New Orleans, and I guess this isn't really, yeah, it kind of is paranormal a little bit, but I was in New Orleans and I ran into this guy who knew my name and knew a bunch of stuff about me, and I'd never met him before. And he definitely wasn't somebody who was like a fan of my YouTube, because he was a homeless guy, but he was a psychic and he was a homeless guy. And he ended up giving me a Vikings tarot deck, and he talked to me a lot, and he told me a bunch about my future, my past, and it was just really, really epic to run into this random guy on the street and have him do a reading on me and it be so accurate. I guess that's not really paranormal, that's more of psychic. I don't know if I have a positive paranormal experience, because most of the time whenever I've messed with the paranormal, I typically get negative results. Maybe someday in the future I'll have a positive experience. Have you guys had positive experiences with paranormal? I would like to know. Please let me know, because I think that's interesting. I've never really thought about it, but I can't say that I've had something like super cool and positive happen with paranormal. Number 7, do you know anybody else who personally has paranormal experiences? My husband, Brady, he sees stuff all the time. It's great. He'll tell me about it, and it's so awesome. I mean, it's not awesome for him. I'm sure he doesn't enjoy seeing things. He sees shadow people a lot, and he doesn't see like the black outline shadow people. He sees shadow people with like the red eyes. And one of my good friends, Bria, she has a lot of paranormal stuff, and she's really fun to talk to about it, because she has crazy shit happen to her all the time. She has a YouTube, by the way. Check her out. It's Bria Beauty. And then I guess Brady's mom has a lot of experiences. She's kind of psychic, and she has a ton of experiences. You know, a lot of my friends have a lot of my friends have paranormal experiences. Like my mama Bat has a ton of stuff happen to her, and she tells me about things. We all are pretty open to the paranormal, so we have paranormal things happen because we're open to it. Number 8, do you have trouble or a hard time telling your family members about your paranormal experiences, or do they believe you? My mom does not like the paranormal. She's not into it, which is understandable. It's not her thing, and she's very, very religious, so she sees the paranormal more so as demons and horribly terrifying. And I see the paranormal more as like a purgatory of spirits before they pass on to the white light or to their next existence in the universe. Most of my family members don't want to talk about the paranormal. On my side of the family, they're not into talking about that kind of stuff, except for my oldest brother, James. He'll talk about it with me, and he's really intrigued by it like I am. Brady's side of the family, however, they are super into the paranormal, and they will talk up and down. They will go on huge conversations with you about the paranormal, and we've even had Brady's mom and dad come with us on a ghost hunt before, and Brady's brother and my sister-in-law are both into the paranormal, and we've gone on a ton of ghost hunts together, so that's a lot of fun. A++. Number 9, what's my favorite paranormal TV show or movie? My favorite paranormal TV show. I really love The Dead Files, where this guy goes to this haunted location and he looks up all these facts of deaths and tragic things that have happened at the location, and then at a different time a psychic goes there, and the psychic goes through and she sees everything that she can pick up and what kind of creature she sees, and she has a sketch artist come in and sketch out what she sees, and then at the very end of the show the psychic and the investigator get together and they see how many things match up with each other, and it's really cool. I really love that show. My other like guilty pleasure would have to be Ghost Adventures, just because Zach Bagans is really funny and out there and super like he's very intense and very and I'm sure he really makes some spirits angry, but he's been doing better recently. But those are my two favorite, would be Dead Files and Ghost Adventures. Number 10 is, what would be your dream place to investigate? Where would I would like to investigate a haunted old Victorian mansion, and I don't care where. I want to investigate all the old haunted Victorian mansions because I love Victorian mansions. Oh, and I would love to investigate castles over in the UK, because the UK has some crazy paranormal stuff, and I would love to go over there and just investigate a bunch of castles, because they have old spirits like elementals and stuff that you really don't want to touch unless you're really experienced. So I would love to see that and have my eyes opened up to this whole new world of ancient spirits rather than the newer spirits on this side of the world. Number 11 is, do you prefer to ghost hunt or investigate on your own or in a group? I prefer in a group, because though I love ghost hunting so much, I am a big wuss and I get scared super easily, but if I'm in a group, I don't get scared quite as easily, and I'm more interested in facts, and I'm more interested in debunking things and making sure it's legit. Whereas if I'm by myself, I am too skittish and I will go running out that door as soon as I hear a little tiny creak that's probably caused by the wind. So groups, definitely. I am a group investigator. Number 12, is your home haunted? It was haunted for about 1.5 years until I learned how to get that stuff out of my house and keep my house from being haunted. Every now and then we get a wandering ghost inside, but I typically send them right on their way back out the door within a day or two. Once they make themselves known, I usually will send them on their way. But we have spirits come in our house every now and then periodically, and we just send them right out the door. But our house was really bad, and it was super haunted for 1.5 years, and stuff would get moved around, cabinet doors would open, things would get knocked down, you'd be watching TV and you'd hear a massive thud in the other room. You go in the other room and like a dresser's knocked over. It was really intense stuff, and it was really scary. So I'm glad that is over with. And 13, have you ever had any paranormal experiences with animals? I really haven't, but I do know animals are good with the paranormal, where they will sense it before you do, and they'll bark at stuff, and they'll be really aware of it. So I'm always watching my dog very closely, because I'm terrified at night sometimes of things coming into our room, and Toby's a pretty good alerter of if there's anything paranormal heading this way. Well, at least I imagine he'd be good at alerting me of paranormal, or I hope he would be. So I'm gonna jump back a question to, is your home haunted? Because I just now remembered that the closet my closet right behind me actually still has weird stuff happen in it, and we see orbs coming out of the closet all the time. If I stand in the closet space and take photos, I'll get photos of tons of orbs. If I leave my Max camera running, I see orbs floating out of the closet all the time, and the reason being is because Brady's mom's old dresser is in that closet, and I'm actually getting the goosebumps talking about it, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore, but that closet's still haunted. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please feel free to do this video as well and tag me in it because I want to see your responses. It's really fun. I love you guys so much. Please leave video suggestions down below and I will definitely do them. I love you, I love you, I love you. Be safe. Mwah. Goodbye.